Hello everyone, I hope this time it works correctly. But anyway, in case you are listening this, so I decided to go for a run, for a charity run for the coup victims, and I set up a page for that. You can see on your screen. So there are some reasons why I have decided to do that, and I will try to, count them. First of all, of course, the coup was aiming for all Turkish people. It traumatized many people, and especially on the night, there are so many people lost their lives because of that military attempt in Turkey, and and they are the first reason why I'm doing this. Like the people who lost their lives on that night. But the good news is the government generally takes care of their families, or at least that's what we know. The people who died in the bridge, defending against the coup plotter, they are given salaries, but still they have lost the most beloved ones. Like in most cases, some families and some children left orphan. The second reason I'm doing this is because another group that have been affected by the coup attempt is the people actually, like who were given orders. Some of them were military cadets, not even proper soldiers, but other soldiers who were actually take part. They thought they were taking part in a military drill, a terrorist event happened or something. They were trying to respond to something like that, and so then they have actually been killed without really deserving. So, for instance, this guy, which I didn't know him before, but I learned in this period that he lost his life because of the coup attempt. He was called to take part in an exercise, and that day he was brutally killed. His head was chopped off, I think, by the protesters on the street and an angry mob. And then there are some other people, like mainly journalists. This is Arzu Yıldız. She had to run away from Turkey. She had, she has been arrested before the coup as well. A known, government critique, and she doesn't see her family anymore. And other people, like of course other journalists, very very old people. This one is Nazlı Ilıcak, for instance. She's in prison, and of course this one again, Yavuz Baydar, who had to flee from the country after the coup attempt. Well, I can go so many of them, but in general, like most of the journalists, judges, and other people. And we also have uh, Nuriye Gülmen and Semih Özakça. Like the people, there are thousands of people have been purged with the government decrees after the coup, although it is legal to use, like the legal powers that have been given by the extraordinary measures or emergency situation for individual people to sack individual people from their jobs. There are thousands of people have been sacked from their jobs. Like as of June 10th, there is 138,148 people have been sacked from their jobs. If they all have families, that makes like twice as people, 3 times as people have been affected. 106,000 people have been detained and maybe relieved on bail or something, and 52,000 of people have been arrested. 53,000 almost, they are not actually charged yet, although there has been a year. So there are so many families have been disrupted because of these issues. And like thousands of institutions have been shut down 8,000 academics who lost their jobs. 4,500 judges and prosecutors have been dismissed. In the case of judges and prosecutors, there's even a tragic side. We know that almost all of their assets have been frozen and confiscated without necessarily being again charged yet. And media outlets has been shut down. And that brings us to why we are doing, again, like some of the people had to run away from the country. So I wanted to do something about this. So I contacted around. It's a very hard thing to get some help to Turkey, because most of the institutions actually doesn't want to help Turkey. The most well-known charities actually stayed away doing anything, especially for the victims of the coup, because some of these victims are still considered, although they are not found guilty by any court, they are considered as the government critics, and no one wants to help government critics because the Turkey makes it very hard for them. Most recently we heard that, for instance, after so many successful reports, Amnesty chair in Turkey, Taner Kılıç, another solicitor, has been arrested, and that makes like more than 1,000 solicitors has already been arrested just because they were trying to defend people who have been arrested or found critical against the government. So anyway, so I looked around. There was a couple of charities only doing this. One of them was KMA International. As you know, this was the Gülenist, the Hizmet affiliated institution who used to help Turkish people. Sorry, who used to do some global charities, but their Turkish branch has been shut down. So, but the international branch is able to help, although it is very hard. First of all, it's very hard to get in touch with people. It's very hard for people to get in touch with KMA and get money, and it is potentially risky to do so as well, because they might be arrested just because of that. But sometimes you don't have any any more risk to take, so you just have to do what you have to do. So there are some people who are actually awaiting this sort of help from them. And but KMA is in Europe, in Belgium, so they wouldn't help us. So I tried to find another charity. This time I found Time to Help UK, another sister organization again. Again, it's not surprisingly Hizmet affiliated institution, because no one else would actually help in this situation. It's just sad that it is sad that only people who lost everything doesn't have any much to risk for themselves or for others are able to do something. Otherwise many people are afraid. So anyway, we convinced Time to Help. They try to find some really notable institutions like Oxfam to deliver the aid, because it's very hard for Time to Help to deliver the aid. But regardless, we had to do something. So now Time to Help will kindly collect the money from the charity that run I Will Do, and then they will actually pass it to KMA International to deliver it to Turkish people, and at least some people will benefit that. For that reason, I set this campaign to help the coup victims. As I said, it aims to help to all fragments of society in a way. But I know that I might be asking too much. For instance, I am aiming £10,000 because I'm running 10 kilometers. For every meter I'm trying to raise a pound. So far I have reached £110, but I didn't really have a chance to really promote this, so I will try to promote this idea. One of the reasons I'm doing is to actually raise awareness, meaning that to let people know that there is a trouble going on in Turkey. And the second reason is to actually to ease some of the tensions, because whenever something bad goes on, we tend to help each other and make the trouble less for each other. And I think in this case that is something I can do as well. For instance, yesterday I was talking on a WhatsApp call with a friend in Turkey, and it is sad to see that people are getting into trouble without really deserving that. And one of our common friends is not anymore answering phone calls. We're assuming that he's arrested as well. But that is the situation, and unfortunately, it's a sad situation. So I started training 2 weeks ago, and hoping that I will be able to do this, like get myself ready in shape by the 9th of July, just before the anniversary of the coup, or a year from coup. And in the meantime, I'll try to help people as much as possible. So I would really like to do some Q&A session, but the problem is actually I can't somehow see